transform this decayed form into MummRa, the ever-living.
Hey Thundercats fans, get ready to dive into the wicked world of Mumm-Ra, the baddest villain in the Thundercats universe. This guy isn't your average baddie. He's got a whole bag of shape-shifting tricks up his sleeve. In this video, we're breaking down the different forms Mumm-Ra takes. And trust us, there are more than you can count. From the fearsome ever-living form to some seriously crazy transformations, we'll spill the beans on why Mumm-Ra loves to switch things up. What does he hope to achieve with each makeover? Buckle up because it's a wild ride through his dark arts. But, of course, every bad guy meets their match. We'll spill the details on how the Thundercats put an end to each of Mumm-Ra's shape-shifting shenanigans. Spoiler alert, they're epic. So, grab your Sword of Omens and join us on this nostalgic journey through the ever-changing, ever-menacing Mumm-Ra. Thundercats, ho! Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Mumm-Ra, the ever-living. Alright Thundercats enthusiasts, let's talk about Mumm-Ra, the OG undead troublemaker of Third Earth. This dude's got a sweet setup. He's basically the afterlife secretary for the ancient spirits of evil. They hooked him up with the immortality package, but it came with a catch: eternal servitude. Talk about a spooky contract. Now, usually, Mumm-Ra chills in his black pyramid, looking like something the cat dragged in, all withered and corpse-like. But, and here's the kicker, he's got a party trick. Say the magic words, "Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumm-Ra, the ever-living," and bam! He's suddenly the jacked-up nightmare known as Mumm-Ra, the ever-living, ready to mess with the Thundercats. And get this, in later episodes, those ancient spirits of evil statues get even more involved, extending their ghostly arms and channeling all sorts of evil vibes into our boy Mumm-Ra. It's like a supernatural power-up, Thundercats style. So join us as we unravel the mythical, ever-changing world of Mumm-Ra and his undead antics. It's a truly wild ride. All-powerful, ever-living. Okay, Thundercats junkies, buckle up for the craziest season finale showdown ever. So, Mumm-Ra, tired of being the universe's punching bag, goes full beast mode in a souped-up, ever-living form. The ancient spirits of evil finally lose their cool and slap him with a 24-hour ultimatum: get rid of the Thundercats or get lost. Talk about tough love. Our boy Mumm-Ra takes this golden ticket and turns into a colossal, super ugly powerhouse. He wipes the floor with the Thundercats, sending them packing to who knows where. And just for kicks, he obliterates the Tower of Omens with one swing of the Sword of Plundar. Talk about drama. Now, here's the twist. The Thundercats only have to survive his mega onslaught until sundown to win. It's like a cosmic game of beat the clock. As soon as the sun dips, the ancient spirits of evil drop the hammer and banish Mumm-Ra. The big question on everyone's mind is this the end of Mumm-Ra, or does he have a trick up his bandaged sleeve? The suspense is insane.
And welcome to the treasure hunt.
Liono. Okay, Thundercats lovers, you won't believe the crazy mind games Mumm-Ra pulls in Season 3's 12th episode. So get this, he shapeshifts into this twisted, evil mirror version of Liono. It's like Liono's worst nightmare in crimson red. The ancient spirits of evil, always the puppet masters, tell Mumm-Ra to hijack Chitara's powers to find the treasure of Thundera. And how does he do this? By chucking her into the Canyon of Youth, of course. Then Mumm-Ra goes full Liono, orders Cub Chitara to use her telepathic powers, and sends her on a treasure hunt with a fragment of a mysterious casket that used to hold the treasure of Thundera. It's like Thundera's version of a twisted scavenger hunt. But wait, it gets wilder. Real Liono catches wind of this chaos and hunts down Mumm-Ra in action. By the time our hero shows up, Mumm-Ra's Liono has already dug up the Mirror of Truth. Cue the dramatic showdown. Mumm-Ra goes all-powerful and fires shots at Liono. But guess what? Cheetara, clever as ever, uses the mirror to bounce that evil magic back at Mumm-Ra, taking him down again. Man, this guy just can't catch a break, can he? Thundercats 1, Mumm-Ra 0.
This cave is the perfect place to set my trap for Liono.
Dr. Dometone, get ready for the mind-bending roller coaster that Mumm-Ra put us through in the Season 1 finale. So, Mumm-Ra's up to his shape-shifting shenanigans again. This time, he pulls a fast one by morphing into Dr. Dometone, because why not add a creepy museum twist to the mix? Picture this. Mumm-Ra crafts this freaky museum where paintings and statues decide to wake up and play bad guys. Such a Mumm-Ra move, right? He then tricks Liono by posing as the good doctor and lures him straight into this death trap of an art gallery. Oh, and he throws in some warp gas for good measure, because nothing says hello like a lungful of danger. But hold on to your swords, folks. Liono, being the Thundercat rock star he is, wakes up from his gas-induced nap ready to fight it out like a champ. Mumm-Ra, not one to miss a party, transforms once again into a flaming red copy of Liono. Pretty damn freaky, right? But then, the next thing you know, Liono schools his fiery doppelganger and then goes full hero mode, running off to break the other Thundercats free from the clutches of Mumm-Ra's twisted museum. He single-handedly scored another one for the Thundercats and a big fat 0 for Mumm-Ra's art collection of doom. Jagger. Hey Thundercats buffs, you won't believe the soap opera Mumm-Ra cooked up in seasons 2 and 4. So in both seasons, he goes all Jagger on us. In the second season, Mumm-Ra pulls a fast one, transforming into Jagger and dropping some serious fake news on Liono. He spins this wild tale about the new Thundercats plotting a coup, and naturally, Liono falls for it hook, line, and snarf. Our boy Liono, being all loyal and stuff, spills the beans to the gang, and they start an all-out brawl with the newbies. But there is a plot twist. Thundercats aren't ones to stay fooled for long. They wise up, realize Mumm-Ra's been playing Puppet Master, and team up to save the day. Thundercats, another 1, Mumm-Ra's mind games 0. Fast forward to season 4, and Mumm-Ra's at it again, this time pulling a stunt on the ancient sorceress Jagger. He morphs into Jagger, convinces her that the Thundercats are the real baddies, and even shows her a fake book of omens. Classic Mumm-Ra move, but Liono, being the sword-wielding hero, sends out the cat signal, snaps Jagger out of the spell, and Mumm-Ra does what he does best, flees the scene. Oh, but wait, there's more. Mumm-Ra, never one to take a hint, tries the Jagger trick again. This time, Jagger goes full Hulk, ready to destroy everything that could be of use to the false Thundercats. Luckily, the Thundercats swoop in, use the Sword of Omens to expose Mumm-Ra's true form, and ruin his little masquerade. Mumm-Ra 0, Thundercats still kicking butt.
Panro! When did you get here?
Panro. Yo, Thundercats fans, grab your snacks because Mumm-Ra just threw us a new Panro form in Season 4. So, the new cat's lair on New Thundera is going through a severe and shaky situation. Apparently, the mighty gyroscope is in a pickle, and if they don't fix it pronto, New Thundera could be weightless. Not a good idea. Enter Screwloose, the rusty but trusty engineer who's seen better days. The dude's a robot, and his last upgrade was probably back in the Stone Age. Meanwhile, Mumm-Ra's chilling in his new black pyramid, cooking up trouble in his cauldron. Being the sneakster he is, Mumm-Ra whips up an evil logic condenser with the help of his ancient spirits of evil buddies. He pops into the Great Beneath, swaps Screwloose's logic condenser with his own, and throws on the Panro disguise just for kicks. Now, Screwloose is ping-ponging between good and evil like a malfunctioning mood ring. Not one to miss a good fight. Mumm-Ra jumps into the ring. It's Thundercats versus Mumm-Ra, and things are getting messy. But Liono, the sword-wielding champ, snags his trusty sword and throws up the cat signal. Guess what? It works. Screwloose is back to his usual non-evil self. After being foiled again, Mumm-Ra tucks his tail and bolts back to his pyramid. Thundercats win again. Mumm-Ra's evil schemes, big fat 0.
The Puma of Thundera.
Mumm-Ra. Alright Thundercats enthusiasts, buckle up for the craziest plot twist in Season 1, courtesy of Mumm-Ra. So our plotting villain decides to pull a fast one on our favorite feline hero. He morphs into this slick Thunderian Puma called Mumm-Ra, trying to play the part of a true, virtuous Thunderian. Picture this, fake heroic entrance, saving Chitara from the mutants, and boom, he's in, just like that. The Thundercats, being the good-hearted bunch they are, buy into it. Mumm-Ra gets a golden ticket into their trust circle, and it looks like he's about to snatch up the cat's lair like a sneaky burglar in the night. But hold on to your hats, folks. Mumm-Ra's energy force decides it's had enough of the charade, and poof, back to good old Mumm-Ra he goes. Right in front of the Thundercats. Talk about an epic fail. Imagine the Thundercats' faces. Total disbelief. They almost got duped by the ultimate shapeshifter. Mumm-Ra 0, Thundercats definitely not falling for that again. Thundercats ho, and Mumm-Ra, oh no you don't. Nether Witch. Okay, Thundercats peeps, gather around for the craziest roller coaster in Season 1, all thanks to Mumm-Ra, of course. So our villain, never one to stick to his own face, decides to go all-out catfishing by transforming into a drop-dead gorgeous sorceress. Now it goes like this. Jagger gets snatched up by the Astral Imprisoner. Being the brave leader, Liono dashes off to find the Nether Witch, the supposed astral world expert on Third Earth. But guess what? Plot twist, the Nether Witch is none other than Mumm-Ra in disguise. Talk about a double whammy. So Liono, oblivious as ever, begs the Nether Witch to teleport him to the astral world to save Jagger. She hits him with the fine print. It's a one-way ticket, no return. Being the hero, Liono decides to make the sacrifice and starts fading away. But just when you think it's all going smoothly, bam! The Nether Witch reveals her true colors. Or should we say, Mumm-Ra's true colors. Liono got played like a flute. Now, Mumm-Ra, thinking he's all smart, encourages the mutants to go full-on attack mode on Cat's lair. It's chaos, it's mayhem, and just when you think the mutants got the upper hand, Liono pops back outside the lair like the hero he is. The sight of their fearless leader gives the Thundercats a turbo boost, and bam! Mutants defeated, Mumm-Ra's schemes foil.
Who is that?
My name is Silky, and I welcome you.
Silky, strap in for another one of Mumm-Ra's trippy disguises in Season 1, Episode 9. So, Tiger's on the case, investigating earthquakes and all, when he falls into the underground world of the Mole People. Guess what he finds? A giant worm head that's not exactly rolling out the welcome mat. Tiger goes full-on action hero and starts smacking the slimy thing. But plot twist, the worm grabs his whip and takes Tigra for an unexpected underground joyride. The next thing you know is that Tigra's in the Garden of Delights. And here's where things get wild. Enter Silky, the friendly, human-faced plant. She handed Tigra this yellow melon-like fruit, and our boy Tigra, without a second thought, took a big old bite. Cue the hallucinations and euphoria. Tigra's on a fruity trip. Silky's all sweet and innocent until she reveals her true form. You guessed it, Mumm-Ra. Now, Mumm-Ra, being the snake in sheep's clothing, promises Tigra more of these mind-bending fruits if he brings over the Sword of Omens. Lost in his fruity haze, Tigra goes full traitor mode, snags the sword, and helps Mumm-Ra lock up the Thundercats. But fear not, Thundercats lovers. Our heroes, being the savvy bunch they are, unravel Mumm-Ra's evil plot, and bam! He's sent packing back to his pyramid. Mumm-Ra's fruit salad of deception is an epic fail.
Destroy the Thundercats.
Giant Locust. Alright Thundercats fans, grab your popcorn for Season 1, Episode 3, Mumm-Ra's Locust Extravaganza. So, our Thundercats roll into the Burble Village, where all these adorable robot teddy bear dudes, the Burbles, are hanging out. It turns out they're actually good guys, and the Thundercats decide to buddy up because why not? Little did they know, Mumm-Ra's been lurking in his black pyramid, peeping on the Thundercats' new friendships. And oh boy, he's not thrilled that the Burbles are now the Thundercats' best buddies. So what does Mumm-Ra do? The classic Mumm-Ra move. Transforms into a swarm of locusts and launches an all-out attack on the Burble Village. Picture this, the swarm turns into one massive locust, and it's chaos. But fear not, Thundercats to the rescue. Liono, being the fearless leader, leaps onto the giant locust's back and steers it away from the village. But MummRa's not giving up that easy. The locust transforms back into a swarm right above a volcano, trying to take Liono down with it. But wait for it, Sword of Omens comes to the rescue. It flies Liono out of the volcano, saving the day and leaving MummRa fuming in defeat. Thundercats win again, MummRa's Locust Fiesta a big fat 0. Thundercats ho, and MummRa back to the drawing board again.
Moons of Thundera.
Gregory Grean. Okay, Thundercats crew, let us lay out the wild disguise that MummRa took in Season 1, Episode 17. So, MummRa decides to spice things up and transforms into a jolly troll riding a giant grasshopper. It's a pretty wild move for MummRa, right? But Liono falls for it, hook, line, and sinker. He digs this short bunny troll named Gregory Grean, and they hit it off. But surprise, surprise, things take a dark turn when Gregory spills the beans about the Midnight Woods and the supposedly infamous Shadow Robber. Being the good-hearted Thundercat he is, Liono decides to tag along with Gregory, taking Snarf with him. It's all fun and games until a shadowy figure attacks them. Liono, ready to throw down, whips out the Sword of Omens. But there's a plot twist. The attacker is none other than Tigra, and he just snapped the Sword of Omens in half. Then, boom! Troll Gregory pulls a chameleon act and turns into MummRa, cackling like the evil genius he is, and makes a grand exit. Liono and Tigra, looking at the broken sword and each other, put 2 and 2 together. They've been duped by the mummy mastermind. So there you have it, Thundercats drama in the Midnight Woods, courtesy of MummRa's shape-shifting antics. MummRa, you sneaky, sneaky mummy. Diamonds Fly. Alright, Thundercats fans, buckle up for the tangled web of chaos that MummRa caused Season 1, Episode 34. So, MummRa's chilling in the Black Pyramid when he gets the lowdown from Nemesis. There's a new queen in the Kingdom of Webs, and her name is Spidera. MummRa, always the schemer, sees an opportunity to turn Spidera into a Thundercats nightmare. He pulls a classic MummRa move and transforms into a tiny sprite-like creature, who's called the Diamond Fly for some dramatic flair. Now, pretending to be this delicate, helpless Diamond Fly, MummRa lures Liono into Spidera's monstrous domain. It's like MummRa's version of a twisted fairy tale. But hold on, Snarf to the rescue. He snaps Liono out of the Diamond Fly's enchantment just in time. The duo uses the Sword of Omens to unveil MummRa's true form. Before Liono can unleash the Thundercat wrath, Spidera's goon snags Snarf and drags him underground. Now, Liono, being the fearless leader, dives in after them and ends up in Spidera's lair. Spidera, being the 8-legged nightmare she is, wraps them in her web, Sword of Omens included. But guess what? Thundercats don't stay trapped for long. Liono busts free, and together with Snarf, they go full-on tag team against Spidera, burying her head under a mountain of rocks. Thundercats won, MummRa's web of chaos officially unraveled.
But
Linkso. Brace yourselves for the wild ride that MummRa put the Thundercats through in Season 3, Episode 17. So the Thundercats snag this magical telescope called the Thunderscope. It's like the ultimate superpowered GPS, identifying all things Thunderian. But guess what? MummRa's got his greedy eyes on it. To get his mummy hands on the Thunderscope, MummRa goes full shapeshifter and transforms into an injured Linkso. Typical MummRa move. Liono and Snarf, unsuspecting as ever, are on their way to the Tower of Omens when, bam! In disguise as Linkso and with his sidekick, Mamut, MummRa launches an ambush. Now, MummRa's not fooling around. He wants that Thunderscope, and he's ready to blast Liono to get it. After a not-so-friendly encounter, MummRa snatches the Thunderscope and makes a dramatic exit. Little does he know, Liono pulled a slick move, secretly removing one of its lenses. Think Thinking he's just about won the Thunderian jackpot, MummRa heads to the Tower of Omens, steals the missing lens from the Thundercats, and speeds back to his Black Pyramid. But Liono and Snarf aren't letting this slide. They hop into the Thunderclaw and chase him down. Long story short, after a high-flying showdown, Liono and Snarf outsmart MummRa, kicks a mummy butt, and retrieve the Thunderscope. Thundercats 1, MummRa's lens-stealing escapade 0. Thundercats ho! And MummRa, you gotta go.
A disguise no Thundercat would expect.
Burbill. Thundercats maniacs gather around for yet another crazy MummRa caper in Season 1, Episode 47. So MummRa, being the sore loser he is, decides to switch things up and transforms into a Burbill. Yeah, you heard that right, a Burbill. Peeved at the mutes for dropping the ball on Thundercats' annihilation, MummRa, in a Burbill's disguise, tricks our fuzzy sidekick Snarf into letting him waltz right into the cat's lair. Sneaky move, right? Once again, MummRa unleashes his dark powers, turning Panro into a zombie slave. Next on his enslavement hit list are Wily Cat, Wily Kit, and poor Cheetara. Unfortunately for him, Tigra catches wind of the mischief and warns Snarf, the unsung hero. Cue the chaos. Snarf, armed with the 411, hauls tail to Liono, who's off camping or whatever. When he heads out to fix the situation, under MummRa's twisted control, the Thundercats gang up on Liono. It's like a messed up family reunion. But Liono, being the sword-wielding genius he is, pulls out the Sword of Omens. Not one to take chances, MummRa wears a mirror mask to dodge the sword's reflection. Such a smart move. The chase is on, and Liono uses the sword to snap the Thundercats out of their MummRa-induced trance. Team Thundercats rallies, and together they give MummRa a taste of his own medicine.
In history, he fought for justice and
King Arthur. Alright, Thundercats fans, grab your medieval gear because we're diving into MummRa's unexpected Excalibur Saga in Season 1. So MummRa, being his usual scheming self, catches wind of Excalibur, the OG legendary sword. Naturally, he's got a new mission: get Excalibur and show Liono who's boss. How does he do it? Classic MummRa move. He transforms into King Arthur and summons the Lady of the Lake. Picture this: MummRa, the oh-so-honorable knight, strolls into Cat's lair, trying to sell the Thundercats on his good guy act. Spoiler alert, they're not buying it. Our Thundercats aren't fooled by Arthur's arrogance and shady vibes. Things get interesting when he goads Liono into a sword fight, and here comes the plot twist. Excalibur and the Sword of Omens decide they've had enough of their wielder's nonsense and start duking it out on their own. But, and it's a big but, Excalibur, being the honorable sword it is, decides it's not working for MummRa. Cue the entrance of Merlin, the magical wizard. He puts his faith in Liono, as the Thundercat leader proves himself worthy. Liono gets handed Excalibur, does the honorable thing, and returns it to the Lady of the Lake. Thundercats, another win. MummRa's Arthurian ambitions, a big fat 0. Snarf Egbert. Buckle up for another one of MummRa's wild plots that went down in the 3rd season. So the Thundercats decide to take a field trip to New Thundera, leaving Snarf and Bengali on Cat's lair babysitting duty. Enter MummRa, the eternal party crasher, who sails in on the Mumm raft. Now, this is where it gets sneaky. MummRa, the master of disguise, ties up Snarf Egbert, changes into his fluffy form, and sneaks onto New Thundera like a feline imposter. Classic MummRa move. As soon as the Thundercats touch down, Snarf Egbert is there, all smiles, ready to join the squad on their quest for the Chain of Loyalty. Spoiler alert, it's obviously not Snarf. It's the mummy mastermind in disguise. They locate the chain on a cliff top, and just when MummRa gets his bony hands on it, bam! He reveals his true, ever-living form, taunting Liono like the villain he is. Liono, quick on the draw, fires the Sword of Omens, and in the chaos, the Chain of Loyalty bites the dust. Always one step ahead, MummRa thanks Liono for the unintended assist and takes off in his Mumm raft. Thundercats 0. MummRa's shape-shifting shenanigans 1 for the Mummy record books. Good move, MummRa, you slippery shapeshifter.
of plunder.
Snarfer. Let us now spill the beans on the crazy plot twist that MummRa brings about in Season 3. So MummRa, always with some wicked plan up his mummy sleeves, decides he's after the treasure of Thundera. To speed up his treasure hunt, MummRa puts the pressure on the Snarfs, telling Mama to crack the whip and make them work like crazy. Now, being the soft-hearted fuzzball he is, Snarf can't stand seeing his Snarf buddies suffer. So he ropes in Snarfer, and they pick up some Thundercats gear and hatch a plan to rescue the Snarfs. But guess what? MummRa's one step ahead. Snarf and Snarfer's stealth mission goes south, and they end up captured by the mummy mastermind. Meanwhile, the Thundercats, thinking they're saving Snarf and Snarfer, coincidentally run into Snarfer, who's actually MummRa in disguise. Classic switcheroo. Fake Snarfer suggests Liono should use the sight beyond sight on the Sword of Omens to find the treasure. Liono, falling for the trap, locates the treasure, and bam! MummRa reveals his true form and goes all out with the Sword of Plundar, capturing the entire Thundercats crew. Unfortunately for the Thundercats, MummRa's treasure pursuit turns out to be Evil Genius Unlocked. MummRa, you tricky mummy, you got them good. Turmagar. Well, fellow Thundercats enthusiasts, you won't believe the twisty MummRa saga that went down in Season 2. So, remember when MummRa pulled that Jagger stunt, making Liono all paranoid about a Thundercats takeover? Well, hold on to your Thunderian helmets, because he cranked up the deception meter. Now, MummRa does a quick wardrobe change and becomes Turmagar the Tuska. Smooth, right? He pays a visit to Linkso, Puma, Bengali, and Snarfer, spinning a tale about Tuska territory being in deep trouble. The gang, being the good Thundercats they are, join forces with MummRa Turmagar, and off they go to Tuska territory. They contact the Thundercats to spill the Tuska tea and plan a rendezvous in a move that's almost Shakespearean. But you guessed it, Liono's suspicious senses are tingling. He isn't buying it and calls out MummRa's Jagger warning, swearing that Jagger is never wrong. The Thundercats, ultimately smelling something funny, figure out the MummRa Turmagar scheme and the MummRa Jagger nonsense. With that reality check, they put an end to their internal battle and rushed to save both fortresses from impending doom. Thundercats another one, MummRa's shape-shifting theatrics exposed. MummRa, you might want to work on your acting skills next time.
Enjoy your power while it lasts.
Fly. Hold on to your whiskers, Thundercats enthusiasts, because Season 3 just took a wild turn. So Snarf, our trusty furball, stumbles upon the Bracelet of Power, basically the holy grail of controlling the Thundercats. But guess what? MummRa, ever the nosy neighbor, catches wind of this in his cauldron's crystal ball. Now, the mummy mastermind, not content with just spectating, decides to make an entrance. How? He morphs into a housefly. Yes, you heard that right, a pesky housefly. Sneaky little devil, right? Once inside Cat's lair, MummRa the Fly pulls off a daring bracelet heist from Snarf. And bam! Back into his ever-living glory, he slips on the Bracelet of Power and plays Puppet Master with the Thundercats. His grand plan? Order them to fly him straight to the Black Pyramid. MummRa locks up the Thundercats at the pyramid, thinking he's got it all figured out. But wait for it, Snarf, our unsung hero, yanks that bracelet off MummRa's wrist while the Thunderkittens pass the Sword of Omens to Liono. Thundercats, now back in control, give MummRa a taste of defeat, and boom, they're headed home. So clearly, MummRa's housefly escapade was not as sneaky as he thought. Maybe stick to the cauldron next time.
Oh, I hope I'm not too late.
Cootie. Now, Thundercats fanatics, buckle up for this MummRa-shaped roller coaster in Season 2. So the Thunderkittens, feeling a bit down and out, decide to go on a little adventure, seeking the thrill of the unknown. Such a silly thing to do, right? While on their escapade, they accidentally munched on some toxic brackenberries and ended up in a pretty dire situation. Enter Cootie, the lifesaver. This friendly cat comes to the rescue, giving the Thunderkittens the antidote they desperately need. Now, here's where it gets spicy. Mumm-Ra, being the schemer he is, notices the Thunder Kitten's unwavering trust in Cootie. So what's his next move? Shapeshift into Cootie, of course. You know, just the same old Mumm-Ra antics. Disguised as Cootie, Mumm-Ra sneaks into the cat's lair, traps the Thundercats, and snags the Sword of Omens. But hold on, Liono's not the one to be messed with. He calls that sword back to his hand, projects the Thundercats' signal, and bam! Mumm-Ra's Cootie gig is up. Thundercats won. Mumm-Ra's disguise games are not fooling anyone. Maybe next time, pick a character with a bit less trust from the silly little Thunder Kittens. Vulcan. Hold on to your Thundercat figurines, folks, because Season 1 just got a wild Mumm-Ra-esque twist. Picture this. The Thunder Kittens, being the adventurous bunch they are, stumble upon a magical harp. They give it a strum, and out pops Charnin, a genie itching for freedom. Now here's where the plot thickens. Mumm-Ra, the ultimate eavesdropper, witnesses this whole genie release spectacle in his cauldron. Quick thinking, he transforms into Vulcan, a strange sheep-like creature, to snatch the harp right under the Thunder Kittens' noses. But wait, let us tell you how. Mumm-Ra, now disguised as the Vulcan, pulls a sneaky move. He waltzes into Cat's lair, spinning a tale about needing a bed for the night. That's a smart move, Mumm-Ra. Once inside, the mummy mastermind whips out a pendant and hypnotizes the Thunder Kittens. Orders are simple. Take him to the Golden Harp. And why, you ask? Well, Mumm-Ra wants to summon Charnin and strike a deal with the genie. He promises freedom in exchange for a Thundercat takedown. Charnin does the dirty work. The Thundercats are in a pickle, and just like that, Mumm-Ra vanishes back to his pyramid. This time around, Mumm-Ra's cunning maneuvers are an absolute masterclass. Mumm-Ra, you sly mummy, you've outdone yourself this time.
Get help! Thundercats, ho!
Nether. Gather around for this wild ride, brought to you by none other than the scheming Mumm-Ra. So Mammut, being a curious furball, digs up the Book of Norvog Nosh. He hauls it over to Mumm-Ra, who discovers a juicy tale about the Mask of Gorgon and the hills of Elfshima. Mumm-Ra, being the conniving sorcerer he is, decides to put this knowledge to use. So of course, he summons the mask. After that, Mumm-Ra, always the trickster, decides to invite Liono for a little rendezvous at his pyramid to recapture the mask. Plot twist, Mumm-Ra transforms into Nether, luring Liono, Mumm-Ra, and Willa into a face-off with the giant mask. And bam! The mask does its thing, turning our heroes into stone statues. Not one to waste a golden opportunity, Mumm-Ra snatches the Sword of Omens and upgrades the mask with Sight Beyond Sight. Now the mask's gaze awakens the hills of Elfshima as the gigantic child of Gorgon. But hold up, the remaining Thundercats, ever resourceful, shoot its inner ear, causing the colossal child to trip and trigger an earthquake. The mask shatters, the Thundercats break free from their stony trance, and the child goes back to being the good old hills of Elfshima. Mumm-Ra's knowledge of ancient history is definitely not foolproof. Maybe stick to the basics next time, Mumm-Ra.
Then the Thundercats will be frozen in time, and Thundera will be torn apart by its destruction.
Scarab Beetle. Buckle up for another one of Mumm-Ra's Season 4 roller coaster. So, New Thundera's having a bit of a geological meltdown, and our dynamic duo, Panro and Liono, decide to consult the Book of Omens for a quick fix. Now here's where things get spicy. While Liono and Panro are deep in discussion, guess who's been lurking in the shadows? Mumm-Ra, the master of disguise, pulls off a Scarab Beetle stunt to spy on the Thundercats. Once the coast is clear, Mumm-Ra sheds the Beetle act and goes full mummy mode. He snatches the key of Thundera and the Book of Omens, making a swift exit. Sneaky, sneaky. Back at the pyramid, Mumm-Ra, breaking all the evil rules, uses the key to dive into the book. The ancient spirits of evil aren't thrilled about it. But when has that ever stopped our favorite mummy friend? But hold on, Liono, always ready for action, arrives just in time. He uses the Sword of Omens to join the book party. Cue an epic showdown between the Lord of the Thundercats and the Master of Mummies. After a nail-biting battle inside the Book of Omens, Liono emerges as the victorious hero, sending Mumm-Ra packing. Mumm-Ra's plot to hijack ancient books? Epic fail. Maybe stick to your pyramid, Mumm-Ra, and leave the book club meetings to the Thundercats. Marvelous verdict. And there you have it, Thundercats fans, the wild and wacky world of MummRa's shape-shifting shenanigans. From Scarab Beetles to evil mirror versions, this mummy sure knows how to keep us on our toes. We've witnessed MummRa pulling off some serious plot twists, like turning into Jagger to mess with the Thundercats' heads, or going full-on Diamond Fly to cause broody hallucinations. And let's not forget the time he turned into a friendly troll and ended up tricking Liono and Tigra into a brotherly brawl. Whether he's transforming into Thunderians, Burbils, or even the occasional Bulkin, MummRa's got a disguise for every occasion. But hey, Thundercats always prevail, right? So let us know if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane with our favorite shape-shifting villain. And don't forget to stay tuned for more Thundercats adventures. Until next time, Thundercats ho! And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.